Good afternoon, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who's committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this afternoon, I presume that you're innocent to these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the state attorney's office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond or to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release today, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll happily appoint the PD to represent you this afternoon. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you haven't had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, advise that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. I all solemnly swear affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Stacy Francis. Want to miss what's your date of birth?
12/10/1982.
All right, Stacy, I have a warrant for you out of Pasco County. The judge who signed that warrant found probable cause for failure to deliver hired property and set your bond at $5,000. Since it's an out-of-county warrant, there's nothing I can do about that bond. If you're able to post that bond, you can go down to Newport Richey, find out when they want you in court. If you can't post it, I'll give Pasco 5 days to come get you. Never takes 5 with Pasco, but if for some strange reason you're still here in 5 days, they'll bring you back to see me and I'll find out what the holdup is, all right?
Yes, sir.
Very good, thank you. Hazel Walker. Afternoon, Ms. Walker, what's your date of birth?
1/10/83.
Ms. Walker, I have a warrant today signed by Judge Angelitis. He found probable cause for a petty theft, and it looks like you're currently on felony probation. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so there's a probable cause arrest for the VOP. There's probable cause for both charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Yes.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on the VOP, of course, it's going to be no bond, so I'll leave the bond on Judge Angelitis' warrant at the $2,000. I'll have both of those back on the 1st of March, and the public defender is going to come see you at the jail before your court date, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Samantha Millette. Afternoon, Samantha. What's your date of birth?
3/11/88.
Samantha, you have 2 charges today. I've got battery on a person 65 or older and resisting without violence. There's probable cause for those 2 charges. As to those charges, you represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what you need to tell me.
In 2018, there was a battery that was dropped. In 2012, DUI. Violation of probation in 2012. Withhold on possession of synthetic cannabinoid. Also in 2012. Withhold on introduce or possess contraband into a facility, 2012. Withhold on paraphernalia in 2012. Withhold on petty theft, 2012. And that's it. There's some out of state, I think.
Okay.
No, that's it.
All right. Samantha, I have an address for you on Seminole Boulevard. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you been there?
4 months.
And Mr. Taylor lives there too?
Yes.
All right. You have a job these days?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm a cook at Mally Kyla.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $500 on each count, so that's a total of $1,000. Condition of the bond is that if you and Mr. Taylor have any contact, it must be peaceful contact. So much as raising your voice while these cases are pending could result in you being back in jail without bond. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll have you back in court on the 1st of March. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, all right?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. James Taylor? Afternoon, Mr. Taylor. What's your date of birth?
February 11th, 1941.
Mr. Taylor, you're here on a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I defend myself.
All right. Steve?
We don't appear to have a history.
Okay. You didn't get one, not that he doesn't have
And
one.
yeah, it's a sheet from the NCIC.
But that's it.
And that's it.
Okay. And, Mr. Taylor, I got an address for you on Seminole Boulevard. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
All right. Miss Millette was staying there with you recently?
Yes, sir.
All right. You have a job these days? You're retired? What's going on?
I'm retired.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $100. Same condition that if you have any contact with Samantha, it has to be peaceful contact. I'll have you back in court on the 1st of March, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Emiliano Diaz. Nope, sorry. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
2/14/47.
All right, sir. The charge is driving under the influence. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
Like the last case, it doesn't appear we have anything at this time. History.
Sir, I have an address for you on Bridgewater Loop. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long you been there?
3.5 years.
You got a job these days?
Retired.
Set your bond at $500. I'll have you back in court on the 1st of March. When you get out, make sure you contact the public defender, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Kyle Klein. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
9891.
Charge is violation of an injunction. There's probable cause for the charge. As to the charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I would need a public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. All
I
right.
don't understand the charge.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
So I don't understand the charge because there was no contact at all.
Well, you went to the jail, the bond. Okay, well, the allegation is that you had contact with Miss Christy Klein again after the injunction was issued.
No, there was no contact at all. We were actually in two different areas, and there's cameras from
Okay,
the
well,
jail.
she said there was contact, so, and apparently there was no reason for you to be in the jail parking lot, and apparently your bondsman threw you under the bus with the story you told, so you probably shouldn't talk about the facts anymore, because you're already in a super bad situation, and if you keep talking, that hole gets deeper.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So anyway, so he has an open case, 19 MM 472, which is also a violation of injunction. I appointed the public defender for you. What I'm going to do, Kyle, on this case is set a bond of $1,000 with the condition that you have no contact with Christy Klein. Is there any doubt in your mind what no contact means?
No,
Okay.
The only thing I know what it is I guess no talking or messaging.
Okay. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact her through social media, you don't go where she lives, you don't go where she works, you don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might possibly imagine getting a message of any kind to her, I forbid you to do that. If you have any contact of any kind, you'll have additional charges. You're not getting out of jail today because this is the second time you picked up this charge in 3 days. But it only gets worse. I'm further going to order you not to call her or write her from the Hernando County Jail, which means if you do those things, you could be held in contempt of court and sentenced up to 6 months in the county jail for each and every incident. So you and she are done speaking. Are we crystal clear?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So in this case, like I said, I'm setting a bond of $1,000. This one is coming back on the 1st of March. You have an open case. And this crime was alleged to have been committed after you got out on the open case, which is 19 MM 472. Job number one when you have open criminal cases is don't pick up new criminal cases, especially don't pick up the same charge against the same victim. Therefore, pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your pretrial release in 19 MM 472. I will hold you without bond until the 1st of March when both of your cases will be back in front of Judge Rupi, it appears. Public defender will come see you before then and see if we can't get your cases resolved, okay? Thank you.
Sir,
I'm done. You can have a seat. John Teague. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
7/8/95.
John, I got 2 charges today. Possession of cannabis concentrate and driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to have hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
May I say something about the charges?
No, not yet. You can answer my question first.
Public defender.
Very good. I can tell you that probably in the neighborhood of 99.9% of the time, saying something about the charges at first appearance is a bad idea, which is why I warned you at the beginning that you have a right to remain silent and that these proceedings are recorded and there's an assistant state attorney here. It would be quite simple for you to say something that is not helpful to your defense. I can't stop you from speaking. I'm finding probable cause, which I also explained earlier is a very low standard. Doesn't mean you're guilty of anything. I presume that you're innocent of these charges. But if you absolutely feel compelled to say something, you can. If you start to say something that tends to incriminate you, I will interrupt and the public defender will interrupt and we'll all carry on in a great big noisy way. All of that being said, is there still something you want to say to me?
Yes, that the things that were in my truck were of my property, and there were
Can we
things
interrupt now? Yeah, we can.
someone else.
See that? Here's the thing. Your understanding of possession is different than the legal understanding. That's why we didn't want you to say anything. So I'm going to stop you there from saying anything else. State any prior history.
Yes, Your Honor. 2016, marijuana possession. Also resisting an officer with violence. Also battery on an officer. Also possession of paraphernalia. These are all 2016. Synthetic cannabinoid. Grand theft. Dropped battery in 2012. And that's it, Your Honor.
Excuse me, Your Honor. He's currently on probation for drugs, so warrant will be forthcoming.
Okay. All right. And John, I have an address for you on Pickford Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Correct.
Are you working these days?
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
Cook at Silverthorne.
Okay. So, a couple of things. I'll leave the bonds for the schedule, which is $2,000 on the cannabis and $1,000 on the driving on a suspended license. This case is coming back on the 1st of March. I've just been informed that you're currently on misdemeanor probation, so I can tell you that they are going to sign out an affidavit for a warrant for your arrest for violation of probation. The bond on that will be no bond. If you stay in jail and don't bond out on these charges, you'll get credit on the VOP for all the time that you've been in. But you certainly are free to bond out because there is no VOP warrant right now, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Shane Thompson. Afternoon, Mr. Thompson. What's your date of birth?
9/25/79.
Mr. Thompson, there's 2 counts this afternoon, possession of cocaine, possession of marijuana with intent. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender? I'll appoint the PD. On these cases, I'm going to leave the bonds per the schedule, which is $5,000 on the marijuana, or the cocaine, $2,000 on the possession of marijuana. And then you also have an open case, number 18 CF 2274. So same deal, pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your pretrial release and your open felony, hold you without bond on that case. I'll have both of your cases back on the 11th of February. Should Judge Toner wish to revisit your bond situation, he sure can do that, and the public defender will come see you before you go to court, okay? Alright. And then, Jail, I had bond outs on Seth Hamilton and a Terry Glass, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Awesome.